recording now. Hello guys, and welcome to a slightly different video for my channel, and this video is all about explaining to you how to make a build effectively in ESO, because this is something a lot of people don't really understand how to do. They try to make a build based on sets that are never going to work and just assume that it's okay to go. They try to make a build that someone else has made, change a tiny bit and claim it to be their own build. They try to make a build using skills that are just invaluable to the game, or they just say, fuck it, I don't know how to make a build, I'm not going to do this. So I'm going to explain to people how you guys can make unique builds that work in this game based on your playstyle, because that is the most important thing. If you copy a build, no matter how strong that build is, if it does not suit your playstyle, you are not going to succeed. For example, this DK. It's a dual resto DK. If you are used to playing a one-hand shield, you enjoy playing a one-hand shield DK, it is not going to help you. Don't laugh. I'm not going to laugh. I'm good. It's not going to help you to play it. You're going to die, basically. You're going to die because you don't know the playstyle. So, fuck it. I'm going to share the information. Here we go. First things first. Find a set or a skill that's your bread and butter, I love this shit set or skill, and work around it. So let's take my Nightblade build, Ice Ice Baby. I saw the Winterborn set and thought, that shit looks so fun. It looks brilliant fun. You could definitely do something with that. And I worked around it. So I put then my generic skills on that go with it. Skills that I like, skills that work with the flow. If you're going to play a range build, play range skills. If you're going to play close combat skills, close combat skills. Get your bread and butter DPS skills, DPS dots, the ones that you really can't go without. Absolutely can't go without. Then make sure you have a heal that suits the build. That's obvious. Again, it's blatant stuff. And then if you're running light armor, make sure you have a damage shield. And then, of course, make sure you have something to buff your resistances. For example, volatile to give you major, whatever it's called. Major whatever it's called. You guys know what I mean, that gives you resistance. Find the things that get you resistance, give you survivability, and your bread and butter damage. You then want to take a look at the build, and you've got a few skill slots open at this time, and you want to see what you're lacking. So if you check your build and you're like, shit, my health is way too low. Damn it, what am I going to do about life? You have a few choices. Run heavy armor, that will increase your health, of course. You could run some skills. Perhaps in your class you have passives that increase your skills. So Nightblade, for example, shadow skills would increase it. Any class could run entropy, that would increase it with this Morphia. That would give you 5% or 8% or whatever it is more. 8%, there you go. If you're lacking Magicka, you can add skills for that as well. Siphoning again for Nightblade, you can run Mage Light on that bar. Things like that to amp the skills up to get the stats there. You then want to have a look at your sets, and you want to say, okay, we've got this one set that I like. It's called Winterborn. It's looking sexy as anything, but what goes with that? I don't know. Am I going to be running a lot of dots? Yes. Try Scoria, give that a shot. If it's shit, try something else. Am I running a lot of ice? Yes. Try your Scrammer. That's another ice set that's out of this patch. I never tried it, but maybe someone wants to try that build. Bang it on, see how it works. And slowly work through these builds together with your major sets. You've got the set you know is the set you want. Try things with that. Try different combinations. So you could go 5-5-2. If you're going to go with dual 5-5-2. So close. 1, 2, 3. Close enough. 5-5-2. If you're going to go with dual and wrestler, you can run that. So you run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on one bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, and then 1 there with the unsetted or the maelstrom or master or whatever. Another way of doing it is to run 5 and 4. So 4 there, 5 there, and 2 there. Another way of doing it is to run 5 on your main bar, 5 on your off bar, and then an unsetted piece somewhere else if you need a spell damaging chance. If you wanted to run Maelstrom on both bars, for example, you may run Maelstroms there. It's better to go unsetted at that point. You can also run 2 5-piece sets if you are running with an off-bar set. So let's take, for example, the Winterborn build again, where we are running it on 1 bar only. We can run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can then run another separate 5-piece, such as Alchemist, something that's only 1 bar set on the other bar. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which allows the monster set if you want to run that. If you don't want to run it, not a problem. You can then run 1-piece Kenner, 1-piece Bloodspawn, find what the build lacks. So that's how you piece together your set. Your skills, you match to your damage. If you're lacking burst, which is the most important things, get more burst. Find skills that will stack up into one individual burst, such as Flames of Oblivion for the DK. This procs every 5 seconds to 7k damage. If you time that with your Meteor, time that with your Ultimate, time that with your Whip, whatever, you get more burst. That's what you need. If you lack sustained pressure, find a way to get that. Some dots, that's a great way to get sustained pressure. If you lack a way to deal with certain classes, certain abilities, those are harder to find. So let's take a great example, which again was the Ice Ice Baby build. That would no longer work in this patch unless you swap something, because it needs a damage shield to deal with the current situation, proc sets. That is why I'm running dampen on this instead of harness, for example. You adapt your skills to that. So now we've got our skills, we've got our character, we've got to build together. Next job, look at the build and think, shit, I don't have enough recovery, I don't have enough spell damage, I don't have enough magicka, I don't have enough this, that and the other. Work the enchants up, work the sets up. You may even find the set you like doesn't work with this other set. So try change the other set for something else. So let's imagine we've gone Ysgramma and Winterborn on a Nightblade. Doesn't work. Okay, what can we do about that? We could try run Alchemist. We could try run Alchemist to get extra health. We could try run Necropotence. Necropotence would give us the extra magicka to increase our damage size. You could try run skills again to replace that. So replace a skill that you'd like but aren't sure about. Get those extra stats up. Hey presto. Dodge your uncle, you're good to go. Next, your champion points. These have a generic layout, okay? Mostly you're going to stack in reduction of cost if you're running shield stack. If you're running a high recovery build, you want to stack recovery mostly. That depends on your build. If you're going to roll dodge a couple in there, that's obvious. Here is where you can have a big play around. If you are lacking damage against heavy armor, bang some in there. If you're lacking general sustained damage, bang some in there. If you're hitting fairly high crits, it's always worth to stick a few more in there because that will amp the damage on those. I know Impen is there, but if you're hitting something like my Merciless build, the Merciless damage on my Nightblade, which can hit over 20k, the crit on that is enormous, right? We're beating the Impen, so why not amp the damage even more? Get the extra damage on there. Healing again, you can get that sort of stuff. The champion point is obvious. The other thing to look out for are passives. So you've recently seen my DK build video. This one here unlocks exploiter passives. See what passives suit your class. Make sure you're unlocking them. Another brilliant passive if you're going one-handed shield is Shield Expert. Here, increase the armor of shields by 75%. Bang a Nern or reinforced shield to get a good amount of resistances from that passive. That's a huge increase. Unchained, another great one for stamina. You could even run it as a magic class such as Shuffle. Why not run that? Now, very obvious things. Bastion for shield. So, now we've got the build together. You're a man. You're no longer copying a build. You've made a build that works. It's got stats. It's got what you like. It's got something that suits your playstyle. And it's got burst, survivability, recovery. But does it? Now you need to test it. So you want to fight someone who's good. Best bet, duels. Don't try open world off the bat. Open world's a different kettle of fish, basically. Find someone who's your standard at dueling, who you would normally beat 50-50 and fight them. And fight them a couple of times. Don't give up after one go because you might not know where your skills are. It might be different play style, etc. Find someone who's your standard, who you would normally give a fair run, maybe win 50-50, fight them, see how it goes. If you are losing brutally, something's wrong with your build. See what you lack. Are you running out of resources? Get more sustain. Are you running out of magicka? Get more sustain. Are you lacking damage shields? Get more magicka. Are you lacking health? Get more health. Are you unable to CC break? Either stack more recovery and stamina, get like 1k recovery and don't dodge or block as much, or change the stats. And that is something else to mention. You do have to consider your playstyle. So maybe you're over blocking. So consider the playstyle before you change the build. So maybe if you're running out of stamina, you're blocking or dodging too much, get rid of that shit. Right, we've now tested the build. It doesn't work. Change it up again. Amp up the stats that you need. Slowly you'll get there. This build here, for example, took me 4 days of pure stuff. And that's 4 hard days. I mean, that was like 10 hours a day, basically. No life. And we got there eventually. Try the build. See how it works. Change it up. Check the stats. What does it lack? Out the stats. You're good to go. Dodge your uncle. This has been a Blobski production. I hope the build videos work for you if you do want to run my own builds. But if you are feeling unique, you want to run your own build, and you want to make something that's non-meta that can actually work, have a play. Because there's so many options out there.